Our group's arguments for book banning is a part of everyday life and should be encouraged. Books can influence a student's actions and behaviors, and parents should be a part of book banning, and if books should be banned. My opponents have said books are something kids can go to in hard times, and book banning is banning knowledge. Public schools banning books is not unconstitutional. More than 250 times, the issue of censorship has come up before the U.S. Supreme Court, and they decided that this issue is not always simple, ban this or not. In the articles titled Book Banning in the U.S. Education System, it tells about one Supreme Court ruling that said a school district can impose reasonable restrictions on content when dealing with a school publication. This was a meaningful finding because there are some environments where information can and should be controlled, and it is not unconstitutional to do so. In determining the constitutionality of the Principles Act of Censorship, the Supreme Court stated that the First Amendment rights of a student in a public school are not the same rights as an adult in a public setting, says the article, Book Banning in the U.S. Education System, proving that book banning at public schools do not violate First Amendment rights. In one argument, we claim that parents should be a part of book banning at schools because they influence their children the most. Our second argument is that books can influence a student's actions and behaviors, and if books influence children in a negative way, it is beneficial to ban them. Our third argument is that censorship should be encouraged because some books just don't match some audience.
My opponent may say that it is not taking away our personal freedom to be banning books, but we disagree because when banning of books occurs, it is going against the First Amendment of press when a book is banned. It is in the First Amendment that we have freedom of speech and freedom of press. Authors did not spend over a year or multiple years writing a book so it could be banned because a few people didn't like it or didn't think it was good enough for their standards. Therefore, there should not be book banning in schools or anywhere. May say that books can influence children negatively and that censorship is right. But my teammates and I have previously stated that books should not be banned because of one single opinion on the book or books. Getting parental permission is so much easier than banning the book for everyone when maybe one person thought the book was distasteful or obnoxious. If a book is a timeless classic, then one complaint should not be enough to ban it. We have also stated that the themes of these books could just be put into the child's mindset, considering worse and sexual themes are available at the click of a computer mouse or the switch of a television remote. These two things are very easy to access for a child or a teenager. Jake Rich, in the article, Can Book Censorship Save Our Child's Innocence, states about the books The Fault in Our Stars. The relationship between the characters Hazel and Augustus is an attempt to show that the deeply emotional bond that the two share also has a physical element. And finally, if a book is banned in a public school or library, people will just go online and read the book for free or for a small price. As Rockaboom on YouTube states in the video Banning Books in the 21st Century, if a book gets banned, no one will care because it is already available to the public online. So is banning books even necessary? Our last argument speaks about the book called Origin of Species. Origin of Species was written by Charles Darwin. It was published in 1859. Some say this book was very beneficial to the scientific world, so it is a wonderful foundation to scientific literature, and it has been banned. But it is only the Malay version that has been banned from libraries in Malaysia. This puzzles most because why would any book only be banned in one language? It is already bad enough if a book is banned in the first place, but much worse if it is only banned in one language. Sayed Nadri, a writer for the New Straits Times in Malaysia, states in the article, "Don't underestimate the reader." It was reported, however, that only the Malay version is banned. How can a book be objectionable in one language and not another? The fact that only the Malay version of a book was banned illustrates that it is even worse when a book is banned in one language, because how is Malay more objectionable than English? Shouldn't books be available everywhere and to anyone? Mark Twain, the author of banned book Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and many other banned books. A book that has been banned in libraries across the U.S. said, censorship is telling a man he can't have a steak because a baby can't chew it. Benjamin Franklin also had an opinion on censorship. If all printers were determined not to print anything until they were assured that it would offend nobody, there would be very little printed. And finally, the author of Perks to Being a Wallflower, Stephen Chbosky, stated, banning books gives us silence when we need speech. It closes our ears when we need to listen. It makes us blind when we need sight. All these very intelligent people agree on one simple thing. Banning books is a useless concept that isn't needed in the free country of America or anywhere.
My opponent may say that by being a public school, they do not have the right to ban a book. But more than 75% of all public schools have complaints about books opposed to the almost nothing amounts of private schools. This is because private schools have the right to ban books, and it is also highly encouraged to do so. In the end, there are less complaints, which means they must be doing something right, opposed to public schools. Therefore, even though they may say that by being a public school, they do not have the right to ban books, unlike private schools where book banning is allowed, and they have and it just goes to prove that by banning books at schools, it shows a monumental difference in parent complaints opposed to parent complaints at public schools compared to private school complaints about books. They also said that